Hey you guys, so I recently moved, and since I plan on being in the same place for longer than a year, I took a little trip to our local restaurant supply store to stock up on all of our kitchen equipment. And to make sure I didn't forget anything, I actually used the video that I made last year, which was my hierarchy of kitchen needs. Not to toot my own horn, but it actually came in pretty clutch. All that said, let's run it back. Starting with the bottom of the pyramid, these are our most essential needs. First things first, you've got to have a quality chef's knife. Next up, it's pretty essential to have some sort of mixing bowl. For these, I honestly think the more the merrier, and I would prioritize stainless steel over glass. I would also say that having a sturdy cutting board is also a pretty basic requirement. Then for our cookware, I honestly don't have many pots and pans, but the ones that I do have include a frying pan, a saucepan. I also have a cast iron for searing, and then finally I have a large saute pan, and then one smooth nonstick for eggs. I also believe it's a pretty basic requirement to have baking sheets. I personally have 2 half sheets and then 2 quarter sheets. And then to finish off our basic requirements for utensils, I think it's important to prioritize tongs as well as rubber spatulas. For the rubber spatulas, the more the merrier. And I also believe it's important to have a whisk. And then for our final basic requirement, get yourself a box grater. Microplanes also totally work, but they're just not as versatile. Now for our next tier of basic needs, get yourself some sort of device that blends. Although I don't have one yet, I would actually recommend an immersion blender because they're very versatile. I also think it's important to have some sort of strainer or colander. And in that same category, get yourself some sort of slotted spoon or spider. Since these are used for cooking methods like frying or blanching, I would try and get them in stainless steel. And then to finish off our tier 2 basic needs, I would also include a can opener, a liquid measuring cup, and then a digital scale. Now for tier 3, which is our next level of kitchen equipment needs, I would say it's somewhat important to have measuring spoons and measuring cups. It's also nice to have some sort of rolling pin or dowel. And then I also think it's nice to have your preferred type of storage container. And then again, it's not a requirement, but it's good to have a serrated knife and a paring knife. And finally, in the same tier, I am placing the metal spatula. And then finally, for our second to last tier, eventually, if you can, it's nice to get yourself a loaf pan as well as a digital thermometer. And in the same tier, I'm also including the very convenient offset spatula as well as bench scrapers. And then to finish off tier 4, I'm also including a fish spatula and a cooling rack. And finally, for our tier 5, my kitchen version of self-actualization, things I don't have but eventually hope to have, we have our Vitamix and stand mixer. And just putting it out there, the stand mixer that I'm manifesting will go right there.